What is up, guys? Brandon from Gamer Gab here, and today we are going to talk about Nintendo's E3 Direct. For those of you who don't know, yesterday Nintendo hosted their annual E3 presentation, and it was pretty packed, actually. I was pretty entertained by it, kind of dragged in the middle, but we're going to go and talk about every key moment in this Direct. First things first that I want to talk about is Smash Bros. There were multiple Smash Bros. Reveals at this Direct. Dragon Quest DLC was confirmed for Smash Ultimate at the very beginning of the Direct. Banjo-Kazooie was announced towards the end of the Direct. Both pretty cool animations to announce them. Smash Bros. Has a great reputation for providing perfect entrances for their characters. I don't really play Smash Bros., but I know that Banjo-Kazooie was a character that a lot of people wanted, so I'm happy for the Smash community for that, but I don't have the game. I won't be experiencing it, but I know a lot of people will. There were a lot of major announcements, but before that, I'm going to talk about some of the other things that I noticed in this Direct. A lot of Weeb games were in this Direct, which of course is expected with any Nintendo Direct. There was Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Dragon Quest XI Deluxe, Astral Chain. Astral Chain didn't look as good as it did, or at least it didn't look as good as I remember it looking. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, the trailer wasn't really anything to get me interested in the game, but I think that was a problem with a lot of games shown at E3. Their trailers didn't really make me want the game more. The Luigi's Mansion trailer kind of made me a little bit more interested in the game, but the Fire Emblem 3 Houses one didn't. Astral Chain's trailer didn't. Link's Awakening, the trailer for that didn't. They didn't really, in my opinion, provide the best of trailers for some of these games. There were some third-party games announced. Nothing crazy. A lot of people are happy that The Witcher 3 is being ported. I personally am not that interested in ports because the Switch is 3 years old. I don't understand why pretty much all of its third-party support is coming in the form of ports. It's been here. People should be starting to be able to bring their games over to the Switch at the same time that they bring it over to the other consoles, like Mortal Kombat 11, for example. Everyone liked it when Mortal Kombat was brought over because it was new and it came out with the other consoles. Everybody appreciated that. But that's not the case with games like Witcher 3, or they announced more Resident Evil games. I don't know why. I just think that's weird too, that they brought all of the Resident Evils over. I guess a couple people are happy about it. And not for me. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes 3, I believe was announced. Not interested in that. Cadence of Hyrule, people seem to be happy about that too. Spyro Trilogy is coming to the Switch. Doom Eternal is a good one because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that that's going to be at least somewhat coming out at the same time as it does on Xbox and PlayStation, which is what we need. We need these games to come to the Switch at the same time as the other games because we need the Switch to stay modern, you know. We don't want to get stuck in the past with this young console, especially knowing that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox, I don't even know, Scarlet or whatever, are right around the corner. But a couple other announcements were Wolfenstein Youngblood and Hollow Knight. Not much to say there, but I know those are both beloved franchises, so some people will be happy about that. I also noticed that there was nothing about the online for the Switch, but there were multiple games announced with online support, which is very good to hear. I'm not really surprised that they didn't talk about the online in this Direct. I don't know if they'll ever really talk about it that much again, if they're going to listen to us about our concerns with it. I don't think that an E3 Direct is the best place to talk about that because, you know, if there are problems they want to talk about, they wouldn't want to talk about it on the biggest stage. They'd maybe want to do it on their own terms. Mario Maker also barely showed up, but it is on the floor at E3, and they're telling us some great information. For example, they are fixing the online with a future update so that we'll be able to play online with friends. Honestly, this will probably be the best-selling game of 2019 for Nintendo. But now I'm going to get into the major announcements for this Direct. Luigi's Mansion was shown, and it still doesn't have a release date, which I think is weird because we're pretty much in the second half of 2019, and we still don't know when the game's coming out. I'm guessing it's going to come out in October because a lot of games were announced for September, and we have a couple games announced for November. This doesn't really seem like a December release, and October, you know, Halloween, it just kind of fits the mood. It's going to take place at a hotel. There is online for this game, which actually somewhat surprised me. It actually looks pretty fun. You go to a scare scraper and you have to clear each floor or complete a certain task on each floor. And I watched some gameplay from the floor and it actually looks pretty interesting. And I think that might just make me want to get it a little bit more. I'm on the fence. I might get it though now that the 2019 Nintendo calendar has been a little bit shaken up. I don't really have any other games that I want to get besides Mario Maker, which I already pre-ordered. So I'll probably be getting this, or I might wait till it goes on sale. I really don't know. Daemon X Machina was also shown. It doesn't look that good to me, but the community's pleased with it. The demo wasn't that fun to me either, but if you are looking forward to it, it does come out on September 13th. Pokemon is coming out on the 15th of November. I think they said that in the last Pokemon Direct. The Pokeball Plus can be somewhat used in this game. I don't think it has its full functionality that it had on Pikachu and Eevee, but it still can be used. They were talking about how you can use it to take Pokemon on a stroll, which, okay, that's not going to make me want a Pokeball Plus, I'm not trying to go Pokemon walking for a living. They also showed a water gym leader, and she looked pretty cool. I like how they changed the gym environment, so now it's like you do your Pokemon battles in a stadium instead of in a gym, although I did also like exploring the gyms. Either way, it works for me, although I don't know if I'll be getting this. I am somewhat of a Pokemon fan, but over the last few years, my interest in Pokemon has kind of slowed down. I haven't really been into RPGs as much, although I did get Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle for Christmas, and that's a pretty fun RPG. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is coming out on July 19th. Doesn't really impress me either, but a lot of people are excited for this game, and I honestly don't get why. It just doesn't really look that good, but maybe it's just, people who played the other games and know how fun the gameplay is. I'm not gonna get it, but, I might watch some gameplay if it really does blow up. I don't know. Breath of the Wild 2, I'm just gonna use that as the working title, was revealed, I guess, in a cinematic trailer. So we now know that there is a sequel in development for Breath of the Wild. It looked good, but it looked pretty much the exact same as the last Breath of the Wild, which is somewhat of a disappointment to me because I wasn't a big fan of how Breath of the Wild looked. I get that it has its own unique art style, but I felt like some of the textures, like the mountains, just didn't really look like they matched the rest of the art. They just kind of looked underdeveloped in my opinion, but maybe they correct that issue. Maybe it wasn't an issue and that's how they wanted it to look and it'll stay that way. Whatever happens is fine with me. I mean, I'll probably end up playing it at some point and then I'll know for myself. The big thing that I want to talk about was Animal Crossing New Horizons. This was a pretty interesting trailer because at first everyone kind of thought it wasn't even the Animal Crossing trailer because it started with a female flight attendant speaking and everyone was like, what the heck are they about to talk about? But then we learned that we were arriving at our new destination, which is a deserted island which we acquire, and you have to develop it, and then eventually as you develop it, more people will come to your island, live there. It's pretty unique from the rest of the Animal Crossing games because you're usually in just a town, and in the last one, New Leaf, you got to be the mayor, which I loved. But in this one, you are just basically the owner of an island and you have to develop it. It looks very unique for many reasons. Like I said, it's on an island. Also, you have to build everything from scratch, which I'm not a big fan of. I think it might grow on me eventually. Just the aesthetic of Animal Crossing alone makes me want this game. There are a lot of other things, of course, too. They added a lot of features. I'm not trying to go too deep into it because I'm going to make a video talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons that'll probably come out a day or two after this. So if you guys want to see that, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification box. But the biggest part of this trailer was that the release date was shown to be March 20th, 2020. For people who don't know that much about Animal Crossing, that doesn't sound like that big a deal, but it really is because that means that Animal Crossing was delayed, which is pretty unfortunate. A lot of people aren't that concerned about the delay because they know that it's just going to make the final product better, and if they need the time to make the game great, then so be it, which I agree. Their reasoning was that they didn't want to overwork their employees to get the game to release on time, which is respectable. I'm still intrigued by the game overall. I feel like the slight review I just gave was a little pessimistic, but it looks nice. The graphics were upgraded. It's a little different than I thought it'd be, but it's still colorful. It's still bright and fun. It's definitely a relaxing game. They also now have 8-player online support, so that's a nice upgrade as well. But that's all I really want to get into Animal Crossing Switch for now, or I guess we could finally call it Animal Crossing New Horizons since it has a title, which is also nice. That is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below. If you want to see more, subscribe. Till next time, peace from Gamer Gab.